Oh, the companies are not going to be happy with me. But you know what? This came out of my own money, so I can talk about it the way I want. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California. And yes, don't click off if you're going, oh, this is hydroponic growing, we don't want it, because I'm going to show you a different way of using it. Yes, both of these units are hydroponic gardens. You're supposed to set them up in your house, on your counter, whatever. And you know what? I think it's fantastic. I think if this is what you want, this is perfect. But it's not my thing. It's not the way I want it, but I still like the units. And let me tell you why I bought them, though they are really good prices right now. I kind of looked them up. The reason I bought them, even though I don't put money out on stuff on this, type of growing situations and gardens, is I got them at a terrific price. The price I found them, I doubt you can find it unless somebody gives it to you for a gift. Let's start with the Let Pot. This is the Let Pot, which is really nice, built well, sturdy. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. There's different ranges on this. You can get them as low as, let's say, $70 on up. I think this one sells for about $120. I paid $1. Now, I didn't have a plug with this one. And I did contact the company because I bought it at one of these discount stores, and they had it there, and they had a plug, but when I got home, the plug that was with it, well, it was 28 volts and this one was 24. And all the research we did, it would work, but we would burn out eventually the lighting system, so we didn't want to do that. So I contacted the company briefly, really quick, and asked them how much would a plug be. They did get back with me, but by the time they got back with me, because I'm really fast, I found it for $8. I bought it and I'm very pleased with it. In fact, I bought the plug on Walmart. Free shipping, everything. Can't beat that. And it came and it works really good. Let's see if I can turn it on. I can't even see the buttons from here. You know, I want to get into the real nitty-gritty on this before I start doing. It's got different settings and it's really, really nice. All right, so I got that one for $1. Then, days later, I found these at another discount store and they were $8, brand new in a box, but these are unbranded. So you've got the Let Pot that's well known. They sell a whole bunch of different types on Walmart. I looked them up and they look really good. Again, I have nothing to do with any of these companies, including Walmart, just me researching and buying things. And then I found these in the box with all this stuff. So let me explain both of them. This is all the stuff that comes with it. Don't look at the plants in there because this is me doing things. And then of course it's got the tray. I'll show it to you in case, some of you are interested. I am not going to use it that way. In fact, I'm going to use this in such a way I think it's going to be fantastic for me because I fail at so many things and I think this is going to stop me because I'm so busy all the time. It comes with all these little pots that drop inside of this shelf, and the shelving unit sits on top. You can look up the videos if that's the way you want to set it up. And, and this is, again, I'm not using it the way you're supposed to use it. I'm going to use it my way, and it's going to work 100% great because I've already started working on it. So it comes with all the cups. You drop them in there, and it comes with even the soil and everything. Here's my issue. If I personally started using this, as soon as they start to grow, I mean, you're supposed to grow in there. Theoretically, you grow in there your herbs, your lettuce. It comes with all the different plant food. You keep this thing full of water. It's got, you can see both of them. They've got, registered on exactly where the water's supposed to be. They come both of them with pumps. And you've got the pump going, which is really, cool. It comes with all the doodads. You can look it up when you're ready to get that and do it hydroponically. But the point I'm trying to make here is I am not setting it up that way because I'm not in the hydroponics. I don't want to grow a garden in my house because I don't need to. I'm in Southern California and we do have a lot of sun even in the winter, and I can grow a ton of stuff all winter long outside or in my window. Look how sunny my window is. My problem is I do a lot of propagating, and because some plants are so super delicate that I forget to water them. And if you forget something like this one, which is an Angel's Perfume geranium, if I forget to water it for one day and it gets hot and I run out and look at it, oh my gosh, I didn't water it, and water it, it'll fizzle out within days. It's not just this plant, it's other plants. And it's got a lot of benefits on using it for propagation. I'll get into that. Now let's step back to the unit. If you wanted to start the plants in the winter, well, let's say early spring, and start getting them growing in here and then get them outside, that would be perfect. I don't want to grow my plants in this house, but for starting seeds, Gary's actually set one up because we ended up buying 3 of them, and he's going to start certain seeds and certain cuttings. So that works fantastic for him, and it's going to work fantastic for me. If you wanted to grow like lettuce or something on your kitchen counter with the water and all the vitamins and the food you have to put in, that will be perfect. What I want to do is start my cuttings. Now, let me do one more thing because I want to tell you something about cuttings, which is so different than seeds. This is tomato seeds that are under here. Just squish the tomato, and here they come, and I can separate them and get them outside. Now, if I was growing tomatoes at this time of the year, let's say late fall into winter, they're not going to be able to stay under here that good until late spring. A lot of plants you start too early don't grow as good as the seeds you plant in the late spring when you're ready to plant outside. In other words, you can start a lot of seeds, and then if they have to sit in the house, they get stressed, and then by the time you put them out, they're set back because they've been sitting so long in the house. But the ones you went outside and you just started, let's say in the house, and in a few days they started to grow and you stuck them outside, and they don't even know they got moved because baby plants don't care. The baby plant, the newest one that you planted, will grow much quicker than the ones you had sitting in here for weeks and weeks. That's just the way it is. That's the way nature works. But it is good for starting seeds, that if you had some place like this to start your seedlings, and then you can separate them and put them in a greenhouse or put them in a sunnier area, it's okay. Now let me show you something with the let pot, and then I'll get back to propagating. This one is fantastic. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see how far up it goes, but it goes like 30 inches. I'm not even going to pull the whole thing way up. You do have the capability with the let pot to grow a tomato plant in the house. Now, tomatoes are really touchy when it's in the house because they don't like the way our atmosphere or environment is in the house. And a lot of times you'll end up with spider mite, or it'll just get fuzzy or turn yellow, and they don't do good. Though I have grown them in my kitchen window, and tomatoes, I will tell you that peppers will grow good in here. They're more adaptable to being inside, so you could grow a really nice pepper plant with this and the lights going. So that works out really well. This one, which is an off-brand, and it's called unbranded, so there's a whole bunch of them out there, that's about as tall as it gets. So basically this one would be for starting seeds, and then the let pot, that would be for if you wanted to have them going in the house. Now this one has a timer. This one may or may not. I don't know. You can always buy a cheap timer. It keeps, I guess I'm hitting the button wrong. Anyways, let's go on with this. Now let me tell you why I really like these. When you're propagating, let's say it's winter. Let's turn this off right now. Okay. Now, let's say it's winter and you want to propagate some of your plants you don't think where you're growing are going to make it. A lot of you try that, and some of them make it, some of them don't. Well, you can go ahead and put them in here in little pots, and go ahead. This is brand new. This one's been set up, this little Angel's perfume, for about a week now with this, and it's doing great. It's in the house, it's near you, you can keep an eye on it, and if you have to, you water it because you'll see it. That's my problem, is I'm on the run constantly and constantly going around here, and I miss it, I walk by it, I don't water it, I run back, oh my gosh. So for propagating, this is going to work fantastic because it's going to get its light. You can set the timer or turn it on whenever you want. Give it a good 12 hours of light. The ones that are propagating will start to grow, and then come, let's say late spring, when you want to start planting your special plants that you propagated outside, they can live in here for 6 months without a problem. Oh, and so can peppers. Peppers can live in either one of these for over 6 months. But you can propagate things and have them rooted and ready to go outside. Now, of course, if you got a greenhouse, then you don't need this. But this is really a nice thing to have. I'm really pleased with that. Now, this one didn't have any of the doodads with it. Let me move this out of the way. This one just came as is for $1. What did I expect? So I made a little shelf and I put some tuna cans in here and salmon cans. But see inside, I'll show you this in a minute. Let me raise this. Now, if you look inside, there's supposed to be a pump, and it's got like little brackets up and down all over to, you know, set up your pump and set up your different things that were going to be in there, your water features and stuff. What I did in here is I loaded this up with kitty litter. You know how I love my kitty litter. I use a lot of that. So I put about a good maybe inch to inch and a half of kitty litter in here. So now I have a flat base. I don't have all these things in here. This one had these little divots coming up and down to hold different things. I don't know what. But now that there's a layer of kitty litter, everything sits flat because the kitty litter is filling it all in. It's kind of filled everything into a nice flat surface. With this one, I know it's hard for you to see where I'm sitting. I just put the tuna cans. I had a piece of plastic. You can use a tote lid or any plastic you've got. I cut it out, and now I've got a shelf. Now that was the first one I made because I got this one first. But then I did the kitty litter on that one. So I'm going to have to say I like the kitty litter. It's not too heavy. You can easily still pick it up or move it wherever you want. And it gives it a little more stability. So if it was in the house and you kind of knocked it, it's not going to go anywhere. See, this one's empty and they're light because normally you'd have it filled up with water. But now having that little inch and a half of kitty litter, it gave it a really good stability. And I did line it with plastic. I didn't need to. I took a plastic bag and I cut it, laid it in there and filled it in because I don't know exactly how this comes apart to clean it if I ever want to clean it. There are screws, but remember you've got lights. This one this one's got a button, so this one unsnaps. These tilt too. This one tilts up and down. This one doesn't tilt. This is the way it is. So I decided just because this one's new and I'm putting the kitty litter in there and it's kind of an experiment that I went ahead, put the plastic and put the kitty litter in there. I just love these. And then you want to keep it as low as possible to your plants because it's good for the plants at this point. And then as the plants go bigger, like I put some baby walking onions in there that are taking off, then you can raise it. If somebody wanted to give it to you for a Christmas present or something, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good way to start seeds. You could probably even have some things sitting around it. If you had a designated table, maybe put something down like this contact paper so it won't get dirty. And you can have plants all the way around. It would be really nice to start seeds in. But my big thing is propagating. I want to get a lot of my geraniums or maybe the Hummingbirds lunch I got here. I've got a right all the way in the back that's doing pretty good. I got a salvia. But this is the big one because I've been going to a couple nurseries and looking for them and they say they've got them and then when you go down and look at the angel's perfume, it's not angel's perfume. Because one place I went, they advertised they had 3 of them. I ran down there and he says, oh yeah, we've got them. And he brought me over and he was the owner and we looked at it and I looked at it and I said, you know, that's not angel's perfume. And he goes, oh, you're right. It's a different one. This smells, the leaves, everything smells so good about this. And I don't do a lot of cuttings off of it because it's not a real big plant. And now I'm going to put them in here and start doing different cuttings. But the point is, it's a harder one to get. One nursery told me you should be propagating your own. So I'm going to make about 10 different plants, I hope soon. I'm trying to get, the plant, like I said, isn't real big. And I don't want to cut too much of it off, but I will be. And I wanted to experiment with this, and this is doing good. So I'm going to get a bunch of these. What I did here, because I didn't want water getting in there. See what I did? This is the pot, and it's got holes, so does this. So I put a plastic bag here. And so it's sitting in a plastic bag, so it's not going to get everything wet. And then I water it, and if the bag gets too much water, all I have to do is tip the water out. But in the meantime, everything stays nice and clean. So I want you to tell me, have you set up the hydroponics? Do you like it? Do you think I should try setting one up? If I lived on the East Coast or up north where you get really cold, I probably would. I think it'd be really nice to set up, have some lettuce. You know, you're not going to grow a ton of it to make big salads every night, but you could grow enough lettuce in here and cilantro and basil and different herbs in here. And you'd be able to take some slices and put them in a sandwich or use them as a garnish and maybe get some parsley growing in here. I think absolutely it would be wonderful for that. Like I said, being in Southern California and having the sun, I might as well use it. I pay enough taxes to live here. So, oh my goodness, I might as well use the sun instead of this. Speaking of taxes, our electric bill went up $30 a month across the board. Everybody's getting their bills up. So I might as well use the sun. But as far as this, I am going to use it for propagating. I probably will use it to start some baby walking onions for fun if I've got nothing else. I put them in there. They were just little bulbs last week, and they have taken off. I'll do maybe some more blanket flower. There's a lot of plants you simply cannot propagate in the winter. Hummingbird's lunch is one of them. It just seems like you can do 10 cuttings of Acufia in the winter, and you'll be lucky, let's say, if 1 or 2 make it. But if you do 10 cuttings in the spring or summer, oh my goodness, pretty much all 10 of your cuttings are going to take off. But I'm thinking in one of these things, I should be able to get as many cuttings going as I can because it's going to have the sunlight. It's going to be in the house, so it won't be that cold. I like the unit. It's not going to be full of water, so I don't have to worry about it spilling anywhere, and I can sit it anywhere, find a designated table for me. And like I said, I paid incredibly cheap amounts for both of these. This was probably the find of the day. $1, and the way it goes up, it's got this telescopic tube here that goes way, way up, and you can plant big plants under it. This was a good find. So I'm anxious to hear what you think. Are you propagating? Are you starting seeds? Now, if you wanted to start peppers in here and wait to put them out in the spring, peppers is something you can grow in the house, in the window, and they don't seem to go into shock when you put them outside. Brassicas, you can do the same thing. When I say that, let's say your tree collards, if you're doing cuttings off of that, any collard, kale, cabbage, all that can be started in the house, cater to them, and then come spring when you know it's not, freezing that much anymore. Because remember, those things can grow in the cold, but you got to get them started somewhere else because they're not going to start in the cold, not under the snow, but they can start somewhere else and then you can get them outside. So your brassicas you can start in here and get them out really early and then start your flowers that you're doing and your other vegetables. Your squash, your watermelons, a little bit later on in the spring, but you can still start them here. You know how I do the tulle, where I don't have any set up right now with tulle. But what I usually do is I don't have to go double cups. I like using double cups in the house right now, so there's no water all over. I just shove tulle in here, Tulle. I put it in there, and then I put my soil, I plant my plants, then I just leave it. And then when I go to move them outside, I pull the whole thing out, tulle and all, separate the ones I want, put back what I'm not planting, and it just goes really good. That is something I will be using in the late spring. I'm going to start a lot of seeds this year because everything is expensive. It's been really difficult to go to the nurseries, and I understand they need money, and they've got to stay in business to survive. And I do buy some plants from the nurseries, different ones, but they've been like $5 to $8 for one plant. So even though, let's say this unit, let's say you find a bargain unit, they've got some of these for $60, $70, really small ones, and this too, probably this one would be a little smaller than this, the lowest one that they've got. It still would be worth it. If you get a few plants growing, then you've got it made, and then you've got this unit for whenever you want. So I am pleased with it. Again, the only reason I bought it is this one was the start, got this one for $1, and then this one came from another store and got this one brand new in the box for $8. And I will have to say that's the only reason I bought it, but because it was a really good price. Then we were debating, they had quite a few, how many, and Gary decided he wanted 1, maybe 2, and I've got these 2, so we've got more than enough. But I think it's really nice. So you tell me, would you consider using something like this to start your seeds in, or do you want to just go to the hardware store and buy some lights and hang up lights? I like the idea that this can go into a shelf or any place and that everything is there and you can adjust this. I mean, that has been, this is the first time I got my hands on one. that has been really nice to kind of experiment. But starting tomato seeds, you can start them now. The problem is, as we go into winter, they may not make it outside. And if I can find a really good place for them, maybe, even in Gary's greenhouse room, they're going to get big and they're going to want the sunlight. And a lot of times things stress. People call it diseases. Oh, my tomato plant's got a disease. It's not necessarily does your plants get diseases, but if they can't survive in the way they're supposed to survive, nature pulls them back to the earth and they become compost. And yes, I compost all my old dying tomato plants. I always have and never had a problem. But the point is they're trying to survive at the wrong time. So we'll see what happens with this. This was more of an experiment. It worked really nice to start seeds. It's going really good for my walking onions. Really, really nice for starting plants, I think. And I think this will be great. And you want to do always more cuttings than you need, because they're even on the best of times, they may not all make it. So you can get a whole bunch. These I'm going to cater to a little bit. I put one cutting in here, because if it makes it, I want to be able to open this up, see roots coming out of the bottom. When I see roots, then I know the plant's made it and I can, whoa, okay. Then at that point, it's time to replant. This is not the time to plant tomatoes, but I think I'm going to plant them anyways. Find a nice sunny worm location for them. So that's it for today. I wanted to show you that I ended up with these hydroponic systems. And am I going to set one up the way it's supposed to be set up? Probably not. I don't think so. It's got so much here. I mean, it's got the pump, which I've been thinking I can always rewire something, because this is a 3-watt pump. I can put it on solar or get a USB plug and use it elsewhere. And then it comes with its plant food and all the different stuff for it. I doubt it. I'm going to use it like I would for a mini greenhouse, or, you know, an area to start my seeds and then get them out in the spring when the time is right. So right now, this will be my main thing to start my cuttings. And I believe Gary's got some cuttings in his. I don't know what he's doing. He's got all kinds of stuff he's got going. So he's setting it up. He's just starting. I don't know if he's actually put any plants in there yet. He probably has 1 or 2. I'm going to fill this whole thing up. I did see on this one that I can get a whole bunch of these little purple pots. Again, we picked them up from Walmart. So I can get them in here. And I think this will be great because I can concentrate on my Angel's Perfume. I've got some other very, very fancy geraniums I can put in here. Maybe some more of the, what do you call it? The Kufias, get the fancy ones going. And then when it comes spring, I'm ready to go, or when I think it's warm enough to get them repotted, put them in something a little bigger and get them outside. That would be good. The other thing I can put in here is I got a ton of these things. I never know what to do with them. And I have planted in them before, but I've got all these. Anybody know what that is? Let's see, Luxor, Edgewater. Yes, we've gone to Laughlin before. Oh, jackpot. This is the Tropicana. All gone. That one, I think they exploded. Excalibur. Caesar's Palace. Do you even know what these are? You know what? A lot of you guys are my age. You know what these are. But the young folks don't know what these are. You go to Vegas. Hand this to a 20-year-old. 21-year-old. Hand it to somebody else that's even 30. Are they going to know what this is? Do you know what this is? Write it underneath. Tell me, what are these cups? The Plaza, Las Vegas. My parents used to stay there all the time. Lady Luck. Boy, they didn't spend a lot of money there, did they? Oh, the Stardust. You know what the Stardust is? You know what this means to me? It means a lot. That's where Gary and I stood when we got married. And then the MGM, well, that's all I've got here. I have more. I probably have 100 of these cups. Should I tell you what they are? I want to see you write it underneath, and then I'll come back and tell you. Why in the world did Las Vegas, when you got there, give you these cups when you walked in? Look how good they've lasted, too. All these years. Like I said, I've even planted in some. You know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'll come back and write it later. I want to see how many of you know why they used to give you cups, because I don't believe there's any cups anymore. What do they give you now? They give you paper tickets, a little ticket. I like the cups. I like the sound of the cups. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And don't forget to leave comments on these. Are you thinking of getting one? Do you think it would be good to plant and propagate in? Or do you think I'm wasting my time? Bye-bye.
So now I can say I have owned these now for 2 weeks and set them up fairly quick. And I'm very pleased with them. Here's the lettuce seeds that I planted. I'm going to tell you in 3 days, I've got all the lettuce seeds from my lettuce plant growing. Now I can get that outside, the same thing, but then I've got to worry about insects, birds, microgreens, but in the house I don't have to worry about it. Now I could either transplant them later or I could use them as microgreens, something I would cut off when they're taller and put in a taco or a sandwich. But the very same day I planted more lettuce. And for this one, I planted lettuce seeds exactly the same day outside, and that one grew. Why? I think it dried out too much and too quick. The weather got warm and I probably didn't keep up with the water. So I'll have to put either a cover of plastic over it or bring it in the house to get them started.